There's something so magical about ornaments that don't just decorate a tree, but tell a story. Today I'm creating a vintage-inspired Christmas ornament with crackle texture, air-dry clay details, and soft old-world colors that feel like they've been passed down for generations. Hello, my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc. And welcome to my channel. If you're ready, my friends, let's make a mess. I'm going to put a crackle background on this ornament blank. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. There are several different types of crackle finishes, and this is just one of them. I'm going to paint it a dark green to start, and this will be the color that will show through the cracks. First, I removed the little silver hanger from the top and stuck a paintbrush in the opening so I'd have a handle. I added 2 coats of paint so the color would be completely opaque. And then I let this dry for 30 minutes. I'm going to paint over the green with Folk Art 1-Step Crackle Medium. This crackle medium is designed to put between 2 layers of paint. The paint and crackle medium cause a chemical reaction that creates nice large cracks. You can't put this over top of a decoupage picture, it won't work. It only creates cracks when placed between paint layers. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from decoupagenapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. And I'll let this dry for a couple hours. Now I'm going to add my contrasting color. I'm using Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Magnolia. I just love this color. It's white, but a beautiful warm white. As I'm brushing this on, you can see the cracks starting to form right away. Try not to go back over where you've already put this. What you think is a spot that you missed might actually be a crack starting to form, so be careful. Where are you all watching from, my crafty friends? Let me know in the comments. I just love to see what cities and countries all my friends are watching from. I'm filming from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. I'm using my favorite, Doss clay, to make some embellishments for this project. Doss clay is so easy to work with, dries quickly, and has very little shrinkage or cracking when dry. It's perfect for making molded pieces. After pressing the clay into the molds, I'm scraping off the excess with my palette knife. And then smoothing the clay out with some water. Then I'll put them in the freezer for 20 minutes. Freezing the clay makes it rigid so they just pop out of the mold easily. Fresh out of the freezer, watch how easily these just pop out of the molds. No delicate little pieces will break off. They are frozen solid, so I'll need to let them thaw for a few minutes, but not in the mold. Make sure you remove them from the mold right away as soon as you take them out of the freezer. I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue to add my molded clay to my piece. I need to add this while the clay is still wet so it'll conform to the piece as it dries. This is the best glue I've found for attaching wet clay. If any glue seeps out from under the clay, I'm removing it right away with a clean damp brush. I'm also pressing down all the edges of the clay very delicately to make sure they're all connecting with the piece. The little silver hanger is going to be somewhat buried in the clay, so I'm going to have to add the ribbon hanger now, or I'll never get it through the loop. That means I'll have to be really careful not to get any paint on it. I'm going to add a large snowflake I made out of the clay. I have to string the ribbon through a hole in the clay, so I'm covering it with a little plastic wrap to protect it. However, it's fighting me all the way. I added a hole in the center using a straw, threaded the ribbon through the hole, and glued it in place. Because you're watching this video today, decoupagenapkins.com is going to give you a 10% discount on one order that's a minimum of at least $50. This is a one-time discount and is good on your entire order when you use the code MASON10 in all caps at checkout. You can also use this discount in conjunction with the free shipping on orders over $75. So now you can get that mold you've been eyeing or some additional rice papers you've been wanting. Even if you've been ordering from them in the past, you can still take advantage of this one-time 10% discount when using the code above. I'll leave all this information for you in my description box below. Now I'm going to let the clay dry overnight, but depending on your climate, you may have to let it dry longer. Now that the clay is dry, it's time to paint it. I'm using the same Dixie Belle Magnolia paint. I'm being super duper careful not to get any paint on the ribbon. And then I'll let that dry for about an hour. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. To find my description box, click on the word More just below the title of this video. I'm going to be doing some antiquing next, so I need a shiny surface for that to work properly. I'm using Polyvine Heavy Duty Wood Varnish in a satin finish, and I'm covering the entire ornament front and back. And then I'll let that dry for about an hour. I'm using Folk Art Antiquing Medium in the color Wooden Bucket Brown. I put a little in a tiny paper cup and added a few sprays of water. I like my antiques to be a little runny. I'm brushing my antique on the piece, going over and around all the embellishments. I'm doing this in sections and wiping the antique off with a soft dry cloth right away before it can dry. Because of the gloss finish, it will wipe off the surface and stay in all the cracks and crevices, showing the details of the mold. Antiquing gives your embellishments some depth and dimension, making everything look 3D instead of flat. What a difference it makes. Everything just comes to life now. As you see, antiquing does change the tone of your paint, even though it's wiping off. I didn't put it on the entire ornament because I didn't want to change the color of my green cracks. I'll be giving this a quick fix in a few minutes. DecoupageNapkins.com has such a great selection of napkins that you can purchase one at a time. They carry many other craft supplies such as rice paper, paint, clay, molds, and a great selection of Polyvine products. Over 9,000 products and growing. They are wonderful to work with and will send out your order fast. You'll receive free shipping on orders over $75 and special bonus points for orders over $100. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address and you'll receive 10% off your next order. This discount is separate from the Mason 10 discount and may be used on a separate order. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. Make sure you check them out. I'll be leaving links for all the products I use in my description box below, as well as more information on the previously mentioned promotions. Please note that any of these promotions are subject to future changes. And then I let this dry for 30 minutes. I'm going to brighten up these embellishments again by doing a little dry brushing. I'm using the same Magnolia paint that I used for my base color. I'm dipping just the tip of my brush into the paint. I'm wiping off most of it on the side of the paint jar. Then wiped even more of it off on a paper towel. You want your brush almost completely dry to get the proper effect. I'm skimming just the tip of my brush across the high points on the embellishment. You don't want the paint to go into any of the cracks or crevices, just lightly across the top. I let the paint dry for just a few minutes, and now I'm going to add some Polyvine Heavy Duty Wood Varnish in the satin finish to the entire ornament. I added 3 coats to give it a deep, beautiful shine. All of the Polyvine varnishes are wonderful sealers, but the Heavy Duty Wood Varnish is my preferred one to use. I love the flawless satin sheen it gives, which is moisture, heat, abrasion, chemical and stain resistant, as well as food safe. It's water-based, so there is no strong smell or harmful fumes. I laid down some paper because I'm about to make a mess. I put some gold paint by Pentart in a small paper cup, then added a few sprays of water to make it runny. I'm tapping my finger on the brush handle, and little droplets of paint are splattering all over the ornament. I love this splattered look. It gives your piece such a vintage appearance. I made sure to cover the red satin hanger. I don't want gold splatters on that. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. When you click the like button, a new hype button shows up. If you click that, you'll be able to send points to my channel. YouTube will then send this video out to more viewers. This is great for my channel. I appreciate you for doing that. You won't want to miss any of the new projects coming up, so don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to add a gold touch to all the embellishments. I'm using redesigned decor wax in the color Eternal. It's such a beautiful gold. I'm putting a small amount of the rub on my finger and rubbing it together with my thumb. Smearing it around like that prevents a large amount of your product ending up in one place. You're going to see me use a lot of different tools that make life so much easier. Things like a turquoise cup cradle to keep round objects from getting away, a bow dabra that makes bows in a snap, a water brush for separating rice paper and napkins, nail art brushes for fine detail work, palette knives, a rhinestone picker, and others. All of these items are listed in my description box below and my favorite tools section, just in case you'd like to check any of them out. To find my description box, click on the word More just below the title of this video. I'm going to make a couple of jewels for this piece using some UV resin. This resin tool set has literally everything you need. Mixing cups, popsicle sticks, a silicone brush, a trimming blade, mixing stick, and a silicone mat. Okay, let's go. The molds I'm using are all different shapes of gems. They're clear so you can cure both sides. The clear molds are the only ones you can use with UV resin. Any of the opaque molds, like the little pink ones, won't work because you aren't able to cure the underside. Believe me when I tell you that, because I tried. Talk about a mess. Trust me, friends, don't even consider it. The red UV resin I am going to use isn't as red as I'd like it to be for this project. I want a really rich garnet red, so I'm going to spice it up with a little bit of red food coloring. I squeezed some of the resin in the little plastic cup, then I added just a drop of food coloring. You can also use alcohol inks, but definitely not paint, believe me again. I mixed it up and then poured it in my molds. Now under the UV lamp they go to cure for 2 minutes. Now I'm going to flip them over and cure the other side for another 2 minutes. Time's up and they're done cooking. Aren't they so pretty? UV resin is a really fun way to jazz up your projects. I'm going to use my mini bow dabber tool to make a beautiful bow for this project. There are vertical slits and horizontal slits. Add a thin cord or a small ribbon through the vertical slits. Then you can layer your ribbon back and forth in the horizontal slits, using as many layers of ribbon or as many different types of ribbon that you want to. After you have all your layers of ribbon, pull up the two ends of your small cord in the vertical slits and tie them together. You can then safely lift up your newly made bow. I bring the cord around to the back and tie it in a knot. Now you can add an embellishment to the center of the bow or another tiny bow. I just love this little tool. I made two small bows for the bottom of the ornament, and I'm going to glue a red tassel between the two bows. I'm adding some tiny pine cones and berries to the top of those bows. For the top bows, I'm adding some gold sparkly trim as the knot of the bow. This is going to be my last Christmas project of the season, my wonderful friends. I'm going to take a little bit of time off so I can enjoy the Christmas holidays with my family. But I'll be back after the holidays with some awesome spring projects. If you have any requests for spring projects, let me know. I'll do as many of them as I can. Okay, let's attach these bright red Christmassy bows to this ornament. I glued the large bows, one on each side of the hanger. Next is the bow on the bottom. Then I trimmed the tails on all the bows and attached my jewels. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. I've added a link to a video that I think you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that video. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all right after the holidays. I'm working on some new projects with you in mind. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.